Will the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission for Wednesday, February 5th, 2020, please come to order? For the benefit of those who may not have participated in a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, our procedures are as follows. 1, the Secretary will read the legal call of the meeting as published in local newspapers. 2, the applicant will be invited to come forward and present the case, explaining to the Commission and others present what is being requested of this property. Comments of town agencies will be read for each application if there are any. There will be clarifying questions from the commissioners. 3, there will then be the opportunity for clarifying questions from the audience. First, those who wish to support the application may come forward. Second, those who oppose the application will then be invited to come forward. As this is a public hearing, it must be recorded. It is necessary for speakers to identify themselves, state their name and address before addressing the commission. 4, the applicant is then free to leave or remain for the balance of the public hearing and the regular meeting, at which time the commission will try to reach a decision on each application. Each applicant will be notified in writing as to the decision of this commission and has the right to appeal to Superior Court if desired. 5, decisions of this meeting are available the day after the meeting by calling the Planning and Zoning Office, 453-8039, after 9 a.m. Seated this evening are the following members: Sean Cosgrove on the end, Matt Yerzinski, Scott Edmonds, Richard Wallace, I'm Phil Johnson, Alan Brown, Jason Marchi, Jamie Stein, and Frank D'Andrea. Jamie and Jason will be seated as alternates tonight. Town staff present are George Kroll, our town planner, Lisa Piombino, recording secretary, and Aaron Mannix, our zoning enforcement officer. The videographer this evening is Peter Schultz. The secretary will now read the legal notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing on February 5th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. at location Nathaniel B. Green Community Center, 32 Church Street, Guilford, Connecticut, Monunketuck Rooms, 2nd floor for the following purposes. Edwin H. Fisher III, 97 Vineyard Point Road, map 9, lot 1A, zone R5, coastal site plan for a 2-lot subdivision. Joe White, 40 Thirsty Lake Road, map 85, lot 57A, zone R5, special permit for attached accessory apartment. Deborah Whitcomb, 103 Shell Beach Road, map 13, lot 9, zone R1, coastal site plan to lift the seasonal cottage to make it FEMA compliant. Stephen and Mara Mangelli, 100 Orchid Drive, map 94, lot 3A, 4-4, zone R8, special permit for 910 square foot pool house. Copies of these applications are available for inspection in the office of the Planning and Zoning Commission, Town Hall, South 50 Boston Street, Guilford, Connecticut. At this hearing, persons may attend and be heard, and written communication will be received. Dated at Guilford, Connecticut, this 14th day of January 2020.
If anyone's here for the Deborah Whitcomb application, that's been tabled. We will table that to March 4th. That will be, so if anyone's here for that, sorry to waste your time, but I saved you a little time. Okay. First item on the agenda, Edwin H Fisher III, 97 Vineyard Point Road, map 9, lot 1A, zone R5, coastal site plan for a 2-lot subdivision.
Good evening. Todd Anderson from Anderson Engineering and Surveying Associates. I'm here on behalf of Susan and Edwin Fisher. Are we just doing the public hearing portion of the coastal area management plan, or are we doing the presentation on everything? I wasn't sure whether I should present everything or what.
Let's do it all together.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll do them all together.
All right. So, for those of you unaware of where this is, if you come down Sachem's Head, we have the split of Vineyard Point Road and Colonial Road happens here. This property fronts both on Colonial Road and Vineyard Point Road. There is an existing house where Ted's mother lives right here that they choose to split off to a code compliant lot. And a proposed lot over here, lot 1, which is well oversized for the zone. That fronts on Colonial Road. So we have, getting a short leg here. All right, time for a new tripod, I think. Okay, let's deal with it. So this is Lot 1, the vacant lot, which he proposes to build a house on. It's proposed to be 6.836 acres, well over the 1 acre required size for the zone. We have gone through wetlands approval for the house siting, septic, and driveway. So it fits all of the criteria for zoning and also the wetlands approvals. This is his mother's house over on Vineyard Point Road. We have split this off. There is a utility line coming up through this strip of land, which we had gotten prior wetlands approval to do all of that. So in keeping the utilities on the property, that includes the strip out to Colonial Road. This is a code compliant lot with code compliant septic and reserve area on it. There should be notes from Dennis Johnson in the file that it fits the B100 for that. This is our site development plan overall for the property, the 6 acre lot 1. Small footprint house and septic area, driveway coming out to Colonial Road. Again, we had wetland approvals for all of that. This is a blow up of what that site impact will be. This pink line outlines the limits of disturbance, very small footprint on the property. I do have a letter from Carroll Szymanski from DEP, which she really didn't have many problems with the application on the coastal area management aspect of it. She was suggesting conservation areas on the wetlands. As you know, the Wetlands Agency already regulates what happens within wetlands. So to put a conservation easement on the wetlands is kind of futile. Now, the other aspect of this is that with this subdivision, we do not propose any open space, and I'll get into the reasons why. This entire property is probably about 65 to 75% wetlands to begin with. They have it in an open space classification for assessment purposes. They plan to keep it that way, and being that the lot, his mother's lot, is going to be retained by his mother, this lot is going to him, the owner's son, per Connecticut General Statutes 8-25, subdivision of land, which is also mentioned in your subdivision code under section 272-41E, waiver of open space dedication. The statute reads within it, the open space requirements of this section shall not apply if the transfer of all land in a subdivision of less than 5 parcels, which we are creating 3, 2 lots, and then 1 bulk land, is to a parent, child, brother, sister, grandparent, grandchild, aunt, uncle, or first cousin for no consideration, which this is. The bulk of the land that remains will be transferred into all the other siblings. So none of this property is being transferred out. It's not being developed for a monetary gain or anything. It's to separate the mother's house, so further on down the road, they may choose to sell that or not. They figured they're going through the subdivision process for 1 lot, they might as well separate that out of the property. This lot is going to Ted. He's going to build a house here to live there. So that is why we propose no open space for the subdivision, and under Connecticut General Statutes, we are not required to. I'm open for any questions.
Sure, let's do letters and then we'll do questions.
All right, so I got one from Kevin, from Carroll Szymanski, dated January 2nd, 2020. It's coastal site plan review for a two-lot subdivision at 97 Vineyard Point Road, Colonial Road, Edwin H Fisher, third applicant. Dear Commissioners, thank you for referring to two-lot subdivision received December 30th, 2019 for review and comment. The project description, subject property is a 26.3-acre site with significant inland wetland in the R5 district requiring a minimum lot size of 40,000 square feet. One residence with an accessory apartment exists on one of the proposed parcels. A second lot consisting of 6.836 acres will be created to eventually host a residential structure. Both lots meet the minimum size requirement. Proposed driveway construction activities appear to be within the close proximity of the flagged inland wetlands areas and may require a permit from the local IWWA. The Commission may wish to place a conservation easement on the portion of the lot which contains inland wetlands to ensure that no future disturbance to this environmental resource occurs. The coastal resource on site includes significant inland wetland and shorelands. Conclusion, we hope these comments are helpful to the Commission pursuant to CGS Section 22A-110. We request that these comments be read into the record at the public hearing for this application. If we can need any further assistance to you or any other coastal management Long Island Sound related matter, please feel free to contact me at 860-424-3138. Sincerely, Carroll Szymanski, Environmental Analyst 2.
There's also a letter from Kevin McGee, our environmental planner, regarding Edwin H. Fisher III. The applicant is proposing to divide a 26.3-acre lot into 3 lots. The applicant has completed the checklist to guide low-impact development best management practice and is utilizing several of the recommended practices. The plan for the project have sedimentation and erosion control procedures that are in compliance with 273-97B subsection 6 of the zoning regulations. The property is to be subdivided, contains a large area of wetlands. The Guilford Inland Wetlands Commission at its December 11, 2019 meeting approved a subdivision referral to the Planning and Zoning Commission and a regulated activity for the construction of a single-family home, driveway, septic system, underground utilities, and associated grading with 100-foot jurisdictional review, zone, and conditions. Recommendation for conditions of approval, the Town of Guilford Zoning Enforcement Officer should be notified to inspect the sedimentation and erosion control measures prior to site work. Soil stockpiles should be contained by silt fencing or hay bales. Soil erosion and sedimentation control measures shall be maintained until vegetation is established or suitable materials installed to the satisfaction of the zoning enforcement officer.
All right, we got one from the Planning and Zoning. Dennis Johnson, Director of Health, January 31, 2020. Edward Fisher III, 93 Vineyard Point Road, map 9, lot 1A. Soil tests conducted on the applicant's proposed lot on December 15, 2019, revealed suitable conditions for installing a code-compliant septic system. Water supply will be provided through the connection to the public water system. Based upon the soil results and the site plan view, it is recommended that the applicant proposed second lot subdivision be approved with the following conditions. The septic system shall be designed by a licensed professional engineer. Do you want that letter?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Quick question. So if this is not subject to either open space or conservation easements, is that a fee in lieu of
No, it's
situation?
exempt from that as well.
Pardon me?
That section of the statutes exempts it from the open space requirement. Any of those options to fulfill that open space requirement are not required.
Okay. And then just
They
on
can
a-
voluntarily make a contribution if they want.
No, thank you.
And then a quick question regarding potential future subdivisions of the property. You kind of get one cut at it, right? And then,
Any future subdivisions would be considered a re-subdivision of the land.
okay.
There's still that 5-lot threshold that may or may not be applicable. So there's 3, so presumably they could get 2 more without having to do open space.
Okay.
I think that would be, yeah,
Hypothetically.
potentially.
And that's for years down the road.
Okay.
Oh, can I comment on that as well?
Sure, step right up, name and address for the record, please.
I'm Ted Fisher, Edwin Fisher III, who is the applicant on this. We are making a very conscientious family estate planning program with this. So we're dividing so that my mother's house, if it ever needs to be sold in the future, would not have to be sold with all the property. The remaining acreage, other than where we hope to build our house, will remain as unusable land, open to the way it is, and our plan and hope is that it will stay like that in perpetuity. So that's our hope and plan. So.
Any questions from the commissioners?
The hope is that we want to, ensure no future environmental disturbances. Then, should we consider the easement, the conservation easement on the portion of the wetlands?
I don't think you have the authority to do that unless it's open space, and since open space isn't required, in my opinion, you don't have the authority to do that.
And
The wetlands
also, the Wetlands Commission already has the authority on the wetlands area that if by chance they wanted to do anything in there or within 100-foot proximity of it, we'd have to go for a permit with them. But there's absolutely no proposal to do anything like that.
Any further clarifying questions from commissioners? Any questions from the audience? Would anyone like to speak in favor of the application? Would anyone like to speak against the application?
We close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? All right. Done. Second item, Joe White, 40 Thirsty Lake Road, map 85, lot 57A, zone R5, special permit for attached accessory apartment.
Good evening. My name's Joe White. I live at 40 Thirsty Lake Road.
Sorry, if you could just speak into the mic, it'd be great, just for the TV.
Thank you. This is my wife, Margot. We're seeking a special permit for an accessory apartment for my mother-in-law. We built the whole house in 2018. We're not looking to expand the footprint. It's basically over the garage. So it's my understanding we meet all the requirements, setbacks, parking. We have a professional site plan on record. And when we built the house, we made sure it was adequate with the septic design to support an accessory apartment. I have some pictures. Actually I can hand these around. So here's the existing house, and where we're looking is right over the garage, is where the accessory apartment would be, and a couple of close-ups on that. So this shows from the garage, from the driveway area, so the in-law apartment would be right over the garage. So again, we're not changing anything. Back entrance, there's two doors, so a separate entrance for the in-law, the other one goes into the laundry room, into the main house. We took driveway measurements. We have ample parking, much more than the 3-car minimum. And the size is, our total structure is approximately 4,100 square feet. The in-law is 650 square feet, so it's within that requirement as well.
Also, aesthetically, nothing changes, right?
Nothing.
Is it already built out?
Yes.
Okay, so this is after the fact.
Yeah, there's a history behind that. So the builder that we had problems. We're not even talking with the builder right now. He didn't think we needed a permit, said he had done one recently. So we didn't hide this when we were doing it. We had inspections done. They saw everything going up, but I was made aware of it after the fact that we had to do this.
So in a situation like this, normally what we would do is ask for building permits, but do we need to do that since this was...
There are some pending building permits. There's a CO on the house that was issued from our former building official.
How long?
2018, so it must have been early 2019 that they were issued. However, it was issued contingent on a follow-up permit for some electrical or other types of work. That permit is open, and so our new building official, Kim Norman Rosden, will come out and do those final inspections and make sure everything
Do they need a
is.
CO on the accessory apartment?
She would either issue it as a certificate of occupancy or a certificate of appropriateness. However, the building code requires that.
So the mechanism for her to do that, is that a
From a zoning standpoint, we should issue a retroactive zoning approval to legalize the accessory apartment. And more of a formality, but at least that way we have documentation that the permit was taken out after a special permit is filed, and then we can issue a zoning compliance. So, yeah.
So I guess my question has to do with all the other safety aspects of the apartment.
That's all building code. So that, as part of that, if it was not, if the details of the inspection were not noted in the previous permit, then that's up to the building official to request if something has to be opened up to look at or some type of
So the
certification.
concern obviously is, from our perspective, is safety. And because this is new construction, it's very atypical from what we normally see on these, where they were done 25 years ago. And what we've done in the past on those is said to people, look, you've got to take out a building permit so that building inspector can come make sure that it's safe for people to live there, as opposed to just rubber stamping it.
Yeah, what happened was, there was another permit, and I didn't know that wasn't closed out. The building never finished. It was more cosmetic stuff, but it was all safe to live in. There were a few things that needed to be addressed, which we did address, so we could look into getting that cleaned up.
We ask is when they come to do the closeout on the electrical, that they just do a once-over on the apartment to make sure everything is code compliant.
We would require a zoning permit for that, so they go hand in hand.
Great. We have anything in it?
In the package from Dennis.
One letter from Dennis.
It's a long one. You want to read it, Frank?
Yeah, I'll go real quick for you. So it's dated January 31st, 2020. From Dennis Johnson, our Director of Health, Joe White, 40 Picture Lake Road, map 85, lot 57A. The applicant's recently installed septic system is adequate in size to accommodate the addition of a one-bedroom attached accessory apartment. Recommend the applicant proposed special permit be approved.
I'm going to ask a silly question. Sure. We have a process in place for special permits for 2 public meetings. Is that correct? Do you want to come again, or do you want us to see if there's sentiment amongst the board to waive the second public hearing?
Love to get it resolved now if we could.
I'd make a motion to waive the second public hearing.
I second that.
Discussion? I mean, it's new construction. Thank you for bringing this forward.
He's trying to do the right thing anyhow.
We good?
You might need somebody to speak on this, I don't know.
Yeah.
Before you close, I don't think there is, but you,
No.
did you already do that?
No, this is just to waive the second public.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Before we vote on that, I will ask if there's anybody here to speak for or against either having a second meeting.
No, I meant,
Or-
I thought you were closing the public.
No, not yet. We're just, no, not yet. We're working on just not having a second public meeting on this one right now. So we have a motion, second. I'll call the vote. All in favor? Okay. So we will resolve it for you tonight. There is anyone have any questions with respect to the application? Would anybody like to speak in favor of the application? Would anyone like to speak against the application? With no comment, would someone like to?
Close the public hearing.
Very good.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
They'll deliberate after the public hearings are finished, so that they'll
We'll try and be efficient. Patch.
It's up to you. You'll be notified regardless. So, it's your call.
Just hang out for another 10 minutes.
Stephen Amora, Mangino, 100 Orchid Drive, map 94, lot 33A-4, zone R8, special permit for 910-foot square, 910 square foot pool house. I don't know if it's square or not. Is it?
Good evening. John Cunningham, owner of TEC Landscape Design, located at 62 Wall Street in Madison. I'm filling in for John Matthews. He's the architect on the project. He's down in Florida for the next 3 months. I got 3 different plans to show you the area. This is the Mangino residence, 100 Orchid Drive. The orange little piece is the pool house. Okay. We first drew it at about 740 square feet, 730 square feet. We started to go through I left it to really John and the Mangelis to go through the design process of the pool house. when we started to look at the floor plan, the little rectangle box is fine. We started to move the bathroom and the shower behind the unit. That's what brought it over the 750 square foot threshold. That's why we're here. We do have inland wetlands approval. This is a little bit different plan. It's a 20th scale. Here's the existing house. Here's the pool house. Here's the pool. Okay, it's a very simple landscape. It's all in town record. Okay, the pool house itself will be a seasonal pool house. There's no heat in it. There is a bathroom, there's a shower, and a minor kitchen, but it's only going to be used in the months when the pool is open. It's going to have its own septic system, which has been approved by the Inland Wetland Board. All right. And if you wanted to see, this is what the pool house is going to look like. It's a one-story unit. It's glass in the front. It all opens up back to the pool. It's a very simple structure.
John, could you clarify, the shower is an outside shower, correct? There's not actual...
I don't think there's an that's a good point. I do not think there's an
separates
inside...
this from an accessory apartment is what I'm trying
I think
to...
the big thing is that there's no heat in the unit.
There's no heat, and it was my impression that it was only a half bath inside the building and that the shower was out an exterior.
You're correct. Looking at the floor plan now, there's a half bath inside. The shower is outside. There's a changing room outside. But there's also a changing room inside in the back portion of the building. But it's an unheated unit that's going to be shut down, so it's not going to be.
I just wanted to get that on the record.
You sure?
No.
I assume it meets all the requirements in terms of setbacks. It looks like it's
Yes.
pretty far away from everything.
Yeah, it's a
It
rather
meets
large.
all. Let's see this. This is at 50th scale.
Great.
It's a fairly sizable piece of property.
I assume all budding neighbors were notified.
Yes, they were.
We have the receipts on all those.
Yep.
Good.
John Matthews
sent them out.
should have put all the records in yet.
Yeah.
The sign was put up at the right time. We have photographs of all that.
We have a letter here.
First one is from Dennis Johnson, dated January 31st, 2020. Subject Stephen Mora Mangelli, 100 Orchid Drive, map 13, lot 9. Soil tests conducted on the applicant's lot on October 24th, 2019 reveals suitable conditions for installation of a code-compliant septic system to serve the proposed pool house. An engineered design septic plan prepared by Summerhill Engineering dated 11/25/19 revised has been received and approved by the Health Department for construction of the pool house septic system. Based on soil test results and site plan review, it is recommended that the applicant's proposed special permit for a pool house be approved.
You?
A letter from Kevin McGee, the environmental planner, R.A. Stephen and Maura Mangelli, special permit, 100 Orchid Drive, Guilford, Connecticut. Assessor map 94, lot 3A-4. The applicant is proposing to construct a seasonal pool house with a septic system. The applicant has completed the checklist to guide low-impact development best management practices and is utilizing several of the recommended practices. The plans for the project have sedimentation and erosion control procedures that are in compliance with 273-97B subsection 6 of the zoning regulations. The Guilford Inland Wetlands Commission at its December 11, 2019 meeting approved a regulated activity for the construction of an in-ground swimming pool, patio, pool house, and associated sewage disposal system and utility services with conditions. Recommended conditions for approval: 1, the Town of Guilford zoning enforcement officer should be notified to inspect the sedimentation and erosion control measures prior to site work. Soil stockpiles should be contained by silt fencing and/or hay bales. Soil erosion and sedimentation control measures shall be maintained until vegetation is established or suitable material is installed to the satisfaction of the zoning enforcement.
I just gave you copies of those. Very good. Any questions from the commission?
What would be the process if ever down the road they wanted to change this from a pool house to an accessory apartment? They would have to go back to
For a special permit.
special permit?
I'll ask you the same question that we asked the prior applicants. Would you like to come see us again in 2 weeks?
I probably, even though I like you, Phil, you're a nice guy, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably like a decision.
So you'd like to request that we waive the second public hearing?
I'll motion to waive the second public hearing.
I'll second.
Discussion? I mean, he's a sketchy character. But I think the architect has done a fine job, and John's done a pretty good job. So, we have a motion, and it's been seconded. All in favor of waiving the second public hearing?
Aye.
There you go. Any comments any questions from the audience? No, we haven't closed yet. You already laughed, right? Any questions? Anyone want to speak in favor of or against the applicant? Someone like to make a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Let's...
Whitcomb is tabled.
Deborah Whitcomb, 103 Shell Beach Road, map 13. Can I get a motion to table, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? To March 4th, 20. So deliberation of regular public items. First one is going to be Fisher, Edwin H. Okay. We have a motion.
Motion. Voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a subdivision and a coastal site plan application for Edwin H Fisher III at 97 Vineyard Point Road, map 9, lot 1A, as shown on an application dated December 16, 2019. Index map Fisher property, record subdivision map lot 1, record subdivision map lot 2, site development plan lot 1. All of the above dated November 6, 2019, revised to December 16, 2019 by Anderson Engineering and Surveying Associates. This application is approved with the following condition: that in order to exempt this application from the open space requirement of the subdivision code, evidence be provided that all lots will be owned or conveyed to the members of the Fisher family. This application is approved based upon the finding that it conforms with the zoning and subdivision codes of the town of Guilford and is consistent with the coastal management policies of the state of Connecticut.
There was a stipulation from Dennis, and there was also a stipulation from Kevin.
We will add the two stipulations for Dennis and Kevin to the proposed motion. Do we have a motion? Well, you made the motion, you got a second? Discussion? Yeah?
Yeah. Understand the whole logic behind
Sure.
the application.
Anything else we need to do? Except vote? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? All right. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion. Voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a special permit for Joe White, 40 Thirsty Lake Road, map 85, lot 57A, for an attached accessory apartment, as shown in an application dated 12/23/2019, including photos and plans prepared by the applicant. No stipulations. This application is approved based upon a finding that it conforms with the zoning code. The special permit is effective on February 14th, 2020, and upon filing with the town clerk.
Second.
Discussion? I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Too bad the builder was not a little more forthright, but that's not really the applicant's fault. They're just cleaning up the paperwork on it now. And it's obviously going to get inspected. So I think we're good on the safety side, too.
So just procedurally, other accessory dwellings have had, I guess, a professional site plan presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission, but since this was...
No, there is one.
There is one?
There is one.
Okay, so it's not the drawings that we were...
There's an as-built survey of the house done by a professional land surveyor, and also the 3 parking spaces. So it does meet that.
Discussion, any more? We have a motion and a second. I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Abstains? Motion passes. Have fun. Now, Mr. Cunningham.
Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approved a special permit for a 10-foot square pool house for Stephen and Maura Mangeli, 100 Orcutt Drive, map 94, lot 3A-4 is shown on permit drawings, 2 sheets dated 10/1/19 by Summerhill Engineers and Surveyors, landscape plan prepared by TEC Landscape Design dated 11/12/2019, floor plans and elevations by John Matthews Architect dated 1/10/20. This application is approved with the following conditions.
Was there anything from Kevin and Devin? Just Kevin.
So the condition from Dennis Johnson. And then this application will be approved based on a finding that it conforms with the zoning code. The special permit is effective February 14th, 2020, and upon filing with the town clerk.
Discussion? It's kind of standard policy. We get invited to a pool party.
Singing that. It's big enough.
Exactly. We'll have a.
It'll be a nice spot, you're all welcome.
Secluded.
Any concerns? We have a motion, we have a second, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Abstains? Motion carries. Enjoy the pool house. All right, Robert Mangino, they've granted an extension to the 19th? Good. So, someone like to make a motion to table this to our next meeting on February 19th?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Same issue with Horton Group LLC, Bank of America, 916 Boston Post Road. Granted extension to 2/19. Would someone like to make a motion to?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone against? Abstentions? Good. It's moved to the 19th. Town of Guilford PZZ Commission proposed zoning amendment. This is what we went through last, or this is cleaning up the interior lot issue. Set a public hearing date for February 19th. We already did? Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we're reminding you.
No action needed.
New applications, Robert and Donna Kessler, 137 Old Quarry Road, map 6, lot 6C, zone R5, coastal site plan for replacement of shed within 100 feet of coastal resource. Receive and set public hearing for 2/19/20.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Charles and Megan Kelly, 47 Three Corners Road, map 70, lot 2A, zone R6, special permit for 3-car attached 900 square foot garage. Receive and set public hearing date for 3/4/20.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Green Planet Development LLC, 376 State Street, map 74, lot 5, parentheses 4, zone R5, special permit for affordable housing development, 8 dwelling units. Receive and set public hearing for March 4th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? We have a mandatory referral from the Board of Selectmen. This is the Woodruff property.
I'll read it. Voted the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a mandatory referral from the Board of Selectmen regarding the sale of property shown as Lot 15 on Assessors Map 33 to NeighborWorks New Horizons for the purpose of developing affordable housing. This sale and consequent development is in accordance with the Plan of Conservation and Development 2015. You want me to read the letter?
Sure.
This is a letter to Philip Johnson, Chairman, from Matt Hoey, First Selectman. Dear Philip, in accordance with the Connecticut General Statute, Section 8-24, I'm forwarding the following request to you for your consideration at your February 5th, 2020 meeting. Mandatory referral. The Board of Selectmen at its January 21st, 2020 meeting recommended to the Planning and Zoning Commission under CGS 8-24 the possible sale to Mutual Housing Association of South Central Connecticut, Inc., doing business as NeighborWorks New Horizons, of an unimproved parcel of land shown as Lot 15 on Assessors Map 33 and known as 268 Whitfield Street and 41-45 Stonehouse Lane for purposes of an affordable housing development pursuant to the terms of the town RFQ/RFP number 1-1819. NeighborWorks New Horizons awarded proposal and a development and land disposition agreement. Thank you for your consideration of this matter. Sincerely, Matt Hoey, First Selectman.
Very good. So we have a mandatory referral, so Scott just read it in. Can we get someone?
George. It's possible, so I thought the contract was approved already.
I understand it's a fairly lengthy contract.
Yeah, so, well, the sale doesn't go through until the town meeting that happens next Tuesday, in which the town will vote whether or not to approve the sale.
So I guess at this point, it's just the referral on our part.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, so, I mean, eventually there'll be a plan presented to you, a special permit, but that's down the road a ways. There will, before that happens, there'll be a subdivision of the property. As you probably know, the property now has the Center for Children on it. They lease from the town. That'll be, a separate parcel will be created for them. There'll be a parcel created for the sale to the developer, the Neighbor Works, and there'll be two other parcels that'll be retained by the town. One will be the little park where the stone foundation is now.
Is this the old roadway? Yes.
This is the old roadway. And the other parcel will be on Driveway, where the old landfill was. That'll also be retained by the town.
So you don't want to get rid of the little landfill, huh?
The Neighbor Works doesn't want to own the landfill.
I wonder why. Okay. Well, we have a mandatory referral. Can I get someone to second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay.
Should you be interested in this, in voting on this, town meeting is next Tuesday.
Do you want to explain the,
Ag Society?
you want to do the Ag Society next?
Sure.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Carroll, the Guilford Agricultural Society would like to hold a combination food truck event consisting of up to 15 food trucks and small craft show with approximately 40 vendors. The benefit from the food truck event going to the Agricultural Society and benefits of the craft show will be split 50-50 between the Agricultural Society and the Smilo Cancer Center. The Agricultural Society will be handling the entire event. The date for this event will be Saturday, May 2nd, with a rain date of May 3rd. We would like to include a small petting zoo, maybe donkey rides. Times have yet to be determined. Right now, we're looking at 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If anything, would only change an hour either way. We'd like to seek approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission to proceed with this event. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact myself at 203-843-5694, email dpapalucio or Kelly. We chatted, this is obviously inside of our window. I had a conversation with George about adding on events outside of our special permit conditions and going back to the Ag Society and really requesting that we either find some way to clean this up as opposed to asking us to violate the terms of our special permit.
Was the special permit, was it explicitly 6 months?
Yes.
It was.
And were they receptive? Or-
I don't communicate with them directly. I asked George.
We've been to this rodeo before.
We'll be looking to come back to modify our special permit.
They've been promising to do that, yeah. We're trying to. I mean, I think they want to do that, they don't.
Well, then they should do that.
Well, what I would propose is that we tell them that this is the last one that we'll be granting until we get this cleaned up. That would help, move things forward. Any thoughts on that?
Well, we got to get some motion on it because everything would come up to war half of the time. I mean, let's put.
Someone like to make a motion to approve the addition of this event to the Ag Society schedule?
Do we have to have a public hearing for this?
No.
You will when they make an application to amend the special permit, that will be a public hearing.
But not for this event.
So moved.
Okay. Anyone like to second it?
I'll second it.
Discussion, we had some discussion in advance of this, but hopefully George will convey the concerns that we have and ask them in the clearest of terms to come back and work with you. And with us.
On television.
They can watch it on
And it's
TV.
getting better, though. I mean, it's not 2 weeks
Sure,
before an event.
Yeah, we-
3 months, 3 months.
I mean,
Yeah, 3 months is,
Okay. We have
They're good. Yeah, they're getting better.
we have a motion, we have a second. I'll call the vote. All in favor of adding this to the event schedule? Aye. Any-
I'd like to abstain, please.
Okay, so we have an aye. Alan, how about you? You good on this or not?
Yeah.
I'm good. 3, 4. We have an abstention. We have a yes and a no. Okay, motion passes. It's not even a motion, but they can add it. But please reiterate that next time it will be probably much less received.
Okay, good.
Okay, do you want to explain to us what's going on with Article 2 land use and fee schedule?
Yeah, what you have before you is the proposed fee schedule. It's been, this is really for your information only. You're not required to approve this. The Board of Selectmen adopt an ordinance which includes all the various fees for all the various land use departments. This is part of it. Aaron and Lisa have been very careful to go through our current fee structure to try to simplify it, try to make it more or less consistent with our sister towns. We haven't decreased any fees, I don't think. Most of the fees are increased slightly and appear to be pretty representative of what other towns charge and seem fair to us as we've studied this over the last several weeks.
George, is there any way to get, I mean, I could look this up, I'm sure, but to get a side-by-side, I just don't have a sense of the proportionality, you know, the what fees have gone up by how much. So,
I think this is sort of the fee ordinance was for the building code fees was recently updated over in the fall. And as a result now, the remaining land use fees that are associated with engineering, the health department, inland wetlands, and zoning, and public works, stump dump fees, things like that, they're all associated under one ordinance. And we've had the Public Works Commission looking to change the fees at the stump dump. We took this as an opportunity as a whole, as Town Hall South, with the various commissions to try to update our fees so that they're current. Our previous fees broke down individually every type of special permit application. We noticed across the board in other towns they were much more streamlined as far as individual residential or commercial, not each specific use. This makes it a little more user-friendly and a little more consistent. Our old regulation, or our current fee schedule, has a lot of engineering inspection fees and things in which the engineering department would bill out inspection costs and things, and we're trying to get away from that invoicing applicants and developers, and we're trying to take in costs associated with the project initially so that we're not coming back looking for money as the project goes on. So we're pretty comparable to other towns. We do have, I can email you the existing fee schedule as well. We didn't do a side-by-side just yet because this is just a piece of the document, and we will be creating a new document, a new fee schedule that incorporates all of the other departments as well, which will have strikes through the existing and the proposed language. So we can always get you a copy of that as we...
Yeah, I'd like that. I just think that, there's an initiative to bring together, I think it's 5 towns on a business planning, business development initiative. And, not that we would expect uniformity, but at least some kind of consistency town by town by town, so we're not way off what Madison.
Yeah, we've tried to do that. It's very hard, as Aaron just explained, to do an apples to apples comparison without looking at all the Town Hall South departments sort of together, because we blended fees between the various departments, but we'll see what we can construct. I'm sure the same question will come up when we get to the Board of Selectmen with this.
When are you?
I don't know what the schedule is. It's going to happen in the next month or so.
Yeah, we're hoping to get it to the Board of Selectmen for March.
Great. Thank you for your hard work on that. We have...
Glenn Glenn Chelder would like to come at our next meeting. It looks like we have some items on our agenda, but not too many. One of the things we were thinking of was maybe suggesting that he come a little bit earlier and do him first, like at 7 o'clock, maybe, and that way kind of maybe keep him to an hour or so, and then do the regular meeting. Would that be agreeable to you?
How extensive are,
I don't know
That's-
how
that's
long
true.
we actually
We got new
need.
things here.
and
For him,
Mangino, we've got
but-
Mangino, we've got Horton.
Those aren't public hearings,
But
though.
just for general update.
To
Well, this
finish
is
the
to go
conversation
through-
that he had, you
yeah.
recall the conversation he
The other
had last
nine, the other
The
9
zoning,
pages.
the zoning commission.
9
The
pages
zoning
of other
regulations,
changes that we were
right.
going to be going through.
Yeah, I mean, the alternative, we could put him off for another couple of weeks, but then that slows down the whole process.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't. You never know what pops
If
up.
you're willing to
between
stay,
then and now.
if you're willing to stay a little bit later than normal, we can, he can
Well,
come later too.
Let's tell them that we'll do another hour on the 19th,
Okay,
and we'll try and be efficient with this time.
okay.
We have advertising bills for $210. Would someone like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
Would you have a second? All in favor? Pay the bills, please. I read the minutes, and they appear to be substantially correct. Would someone like to make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you. Thank you.